By the way, like you were saying about that book,
My favorite book? Pray tell, did you find it?
as I wandered through the fortress, I stumbled upon von Bergov's chambers, and there it lay. Red leather, gold inlay, just as you said.
You really found it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, did you have any time to leaf through it and see what it's about?
I read a bit of it.
What did you think?
While reading it, I thought the writing style seemed familiar.
Really?
Well, yeah. As if I knew the writer himself. Or herself.
Women writing books. Come now.
Why not? I bet they would write better than many men.
Such audacity.
More like experience. I once helped with copying. Most of it was boring drivel.
I can imagine. A person does all that work to learn to read and write, but then they sit you down at a table to copy the works of others for the rest of your life.
Waste of time, right?
Not just time, above all, talent.
Hold on. Who wrote this then?
I did. Look, you've never thought about writing something.
Me? And what would I write?
How should I know? Poetry, a novel, a treatise, or a whole book?
That's a tempting notion. Who knows? In another life, I might have become a writer.
Wouldn't you want to at least give it a try?
I suppose I'm not quite sure where you're going with this.
There are still a few blank pages left, so we could finish writing it together. You and me. What do you think?
That sounds great.
Come by during the day, when we have enough light. I shall await you in my chambers, with great anticipation.
So, shall we write?
Let's get started. How should I start?
You haven't thought of anything yet?
Now, I have many ideas, but we must contribute in equal part.
Both? Well, fine. What should I do?
Just tell me what you'd like to read about. A tale of a man or a woman? I'll take careful notes of everything.
Well, being a man myself, a man, I suppose.
Why not? And what kind of a man is he?
You mean I have to think up a name?
You don't need to, but try to describe him so I can better imagine him. With a single word, even.
There've already been enough heroes, saints, kings, and martyrs. So an ordinary person.
That's 2 words, but I'll forgive you. And do you want it to be an ordinary villain or an ordinary do-gooder?
Make him a do-gooder. But he can also have some bad traits to make it believable.
Very well. And what kind?
That sounds as if you've already thought of one.
Oh, my. And not just one. But I asked first.
Yeah. Anyone's faults are easy to find.
Especially when that person doesn't even try to hide them.
And what's wrong with that? Would you prefer for people to pretend to be better than they are?
No. But putting your bad habits on display for all to see isn't great either.
Do you know anyone without faults?
Of course not. Whenever I thought that of someone, I was quickly disabused of my illusions.
Who, for example?
I don't need to look far. My father, and my brother as well, have taught me much in this vein.
What actually happened between them? I heard they had a falling out.
Venser was a hothead. He kept urging Father not to put up with insults and stand his ground. Father explained to him in vain that to respond to such provocations would give the king's people an excuse to take from us. Actually, Venser went to defend the city a bit, out of defiance. We didn't even have time to say goodbye.
Tell me more about Kunzlin. What's he like?
Father is the last Ruthard in Kuttenberg. After the death of his son, there remains only a daughter, who will not bear the family name. He doesn't want to go down in history as the weak Ruthard, who gave away his entire estate to Sigismund and ended the family line.
All right. But what's he like, really? As a father?
Wise, caring, considerate, and strict. But it's hard to blame him.
Tell me more about your brother. What was he like?
I had always thought Venser was determined, brave and proud, except he was really more stubborn, short-tempered, and vain. And not a day goes by when I do not think of him. In spite of everything, he was my older brother, and I miss him.
Was he the one who taught you how to shoot a crossbow?
Yes, and also to ride a horse, curse in 3 languages, belch aloud, and other things every proper lady should know.
And Kunzlin certainly also mourns for
Naturally. As a father, he lost a son. As a Ruthard, he lost his future. There's 2 reasons for mourning.
You speak as if he didn't even have a heart.
If they hadn't quarreled, Venser might still be here today. But there's no point in going on about it. Back to work. Which bad trait did you choose?
He could make fun of people, but not know when to stop. I know many people with the same bad habit.
Sure, why not? But in the end, his jesting should save him from punishment. So it ends well. I like those stories best anyways. Well, just about finished.
Well, let's have a look.
Not yet. Something's missing.
What?
A picture. I don't trust myself with proper illumination, but I think I can handle a sketch. Especially if you'll be my model.
What? And what on earth do I have to do?
Have you ever seen a heron? Imitate one.
A heron? Well, maybe like this?
Well, now we're done.
Oh, finally. I'm sore all over.
Your suffering is over. Come take a look at what we've done. Your reward. So what about that story of ours? Tell me your impressions.
I haven't read it yet.
Well, go and make amends. I need a critical eye so I know what to improve. This book won't be getting any more done. I thought you wanted to read it as soon as possible. Fear not, the ink has already dried. So what about that story of ours? Tell me your impressions.
That's nice. A bit didactic, but not to the point of boring moral bludgeoning. And that's the way it should be. Sermons for ordinary people work in a similar way. They entertain and encourage, with a few lessons added in between.
You see, when I lead mass one of these days, I'll certainly think of you. And what about the sketch? For such a slapdash job, it's not bad, right?
Well, what can I say? Your talents probably lie elsewhere than in painting.
I know I'm no master illuminator, but otherwise, I think we can be quite satisfied. And thank you for the help. I really enjoyed it.
Well, so did I. And for that matter, you're an interesting girl, and I'd like to get to know you a little better.
No beating around the bush. How about that? Please do stop by sometime. I wager it will be enlightening for both of us. Perhaps I can show you my collection of hunting trophies.